One of my favorite things to explore with my paintings is the balance between cool and warm tones. Recently, I took it to more of an extreme with some water-themed portraits, and I'm going to show you how I did it. Like all my paintings, they start with a vision in my mind, and then a reference photo shoot to bring the vision to life with as much detail as possible. The vehicle for this vision was my bathtub. So because you have light from two separate sources, you have softer shadows along the planes of both sides of the face, and a middle point where these two light sources meet. My palette for this painting begins with titanium white, cadmium yellow light, cadmium red light, alizarin crimson, burnt umber, chromatic black, ultramarine blue, phthalo blue, cobalt teal, and phthalo emerald. However, as I started painting pretty early on, I added some radiant turquoise to my palette, and later on radiant red and perylene red. For a real-time demonstration of this painting, check out my tutorial library on my website, lenadanyastore.com/tutorials. I started with cool tones first. I used varying combinations of titanium white, cobalt teal, and radiant turquoise to start out some of the lightest parts of the face. Since titanium white will dull the colors of anything you add to it, having a light blue to mix with, like radiant turquoise, let me achieve more vibrant colors in those lighter parts of the face. A big reason I love toning my surface instead of painting on a blank white canvas is that the lightest tones you put down actually show up when you apply them. And you can judge your color values more precisely when you don't have this bright white background reflecting back at you. I then added some burnt umber with cobalt teal and chromatic black to start some of the more subtle shadows, the eyelids, cheekbones, and so on. Burnt umber is a warmer tone, and it created a sort of greener tint with the cobalt teal, which I did need, but the chromatic black helped neutralize it just a little bit. And so I went back and forth between these colors, painting some shadow and light, mixing varying amounts depending on what I was seeing in my reference, trying to color match. Once I got a decent chunk of the blue side of the face, I moved on to the reds. I mixed together some cadmium red light, titanium white, and alizarin crimson. This is for some of the lightest parts of the red side of the face, reflecting the most light, which were parts of the forehead, cheekbone, side of the nose, a little bit on the lips and jaw. For some of the darker shadows around the lips and under the nose, they had almost like a reddish brown color, so I went heavier on the alizarin crimson with the cad red light and a smidge of burnt umber to achieve that dark reddish shadow. At this point, I also started on that transitional point between the cool and warm tones, which had purple to it. I took the reds into the blues and started on that purple gradient along the chin where blue and red light meet, slowly blending it into the reds. I also added some perylene red to my palette, which is a very vibrant, rich, transparent red that works amazingly for tinting colors, like creating those deep red, darker shadows, and I used it quite heavily around the jaw here. You can see how, as I'm painting the red side of the face, it doesn't quite look right. It's way too harsh. This is the point in the painting where I have to tell myself to just trust the process because it looks a bit crazy, but look how much it starts to come together once I started adding in those purples along the forehead where the two light sources meet and creating the transition between red and blue. There was just a tiny smidge of blue light that landed under the eye on the red side of the face, and these two light sources mixing together created a very soft purple there, and that's why you see the purple in those places where those two light sources meet. There was also more of that purple along the bridge of the nose, which I added a bit later. At this point in the painting, I paused on the face and moved on to a little bit of the surrounding water. I used ultramarine blue, burnt umber, cobalt teal, a bit of phthalo blue, and radiant turquoise. This was mainly to add a bit of a dark value against the face, give the painting a bit more context visually. This is still the early building stage, and so as you add more information to your surface, you will see more of what else you need to do. I also added a bit of cadmium yellow light to bring that color to a greener tone for some of the lighter parts. And then I moved on to darkening some of the darkest shadows along the face and began working on the hand. This is also where I brought in Radiant Red. It turned out to be a more favorable color to mix with instead of Cad Red Light and Titanium White. It actually has the Perylene Red pigment in it, so that makes sense. And I took the same approach with the hand that I did with the face. So basically very similar colors, just arranged over different anatomy. And this is why having reference material is so important, because you have a visual guide for your painting and you can achieve more accuracy with anatomy, colors, values, details. It just really elevates your painting. In my opinion, the most challenging parts of this painting were the face and hand. After that, it was more smooth sailing to paint the surrounding water. But also notice how much more the lighting on the face comes to life once you add the surrounding darker colors around the face. I also left the whole bottom right area blank because I wanted to have a place to rest my hand as I went back to the face and continued smoothing things out, building on the light and shadows further, and having painted that darker background, I had more context to work with and a better feel for what needs improvement in the face and the colors and everything. So some areas get a bit darker, maybe some get a bit lighter, there's some detail added. I worked in more purples in that transitional point along the face where the two light sources meet, and overall just spent a lot of time smoothing things out and building the details of the face. And this is just the first layer. I like to work in at least 2, but usually like 3 or 4 layers. And I also like to glaze to achieve richer colors. The radiant turquoise actually was very useful for some of the sparkles reflecting in the water. They weren't all just titanium white. They actually were reflecting the light sources that I was using. Here's another little painting very similar to the last, although I didn't film the palette for this one, but it was a very similar process, just slightly different mixes of colors. The cool tones had that radiant turquoise for some of the lightest parts of the face, reflecting the most light, a bit more ultramarine blue and phthalo blue for the shadowy parts, and for the warm side of the face, once again, radiant red for the brightest parts of the face, mixed with varying amounts of perylene red, quinacridone red, burnt umber, even a little bit of ultramarine blue. And once again, just notice how there's that purple in those transitional points between cool and warm light. This painting had some light ripples below the water, which I mainly used radiant turquoise for. And this was just a really fun painting. It made me want to paint more dramatic lighting situations. I've had a big love for Gamblin's Radiant colors since 2013. When I lived in Tampa, Florida, I would drive like 45 minutes to the only art store in town that sold Gamblin back then. The first Gamblin colors I ever purchased.
I really love these two. It's Radiant Turquoise and Radiant Green. They're so pretty.
Full circle, Gamblin actually just sent me their newly released Radiant set. You used to only be able to get these individually, but now they come in a full set, and the set also includes 2 brand new Radiant colors, Radiant Orange and Radiant Warm Green. And fun fact, the box that they're packaged in is actually a wood panel that you can paint on, which is genius in my opinion. I love that Gamblin does this. And in this video, that smaller square painting, the panel I painted on also came from Gamblin packaging. You can find the new Radiant set at major retailers like Blick and Michaels. So thank you so much, Gamblin, for this amazing gift. These are such gorgeous colors, and like I said, I've been obsessed with their Radiance since the beginning of my water series 13 years ago. I'm also super honored that my painting is featured on Gamblin's website. I will leave a link to that page. There's actually a lot of really helpful information on color mixing there. Well, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much, Gamblin, for supporting my art. I'm wishing you all a beautiful and inspiring day, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye, everyone.